guys who can balance big budget films like Avatar and Public Enemies, Gods and Monsters, with low budget independent features like White Irish Drinkers or Christina, or this film, The Girl on the Train. That's a career that a lot of actors would envy. What drew you to this particular project?
I had done a previous project, Christina, which you just mentioned, that was written and directed by Larry Brand and produced by Rebecca and Jim. And so, and I was drawn to that because I'd never read anything quite like it before. I didn't know, and quite frankly, I didn't know if I could be successful in it. I didn't know if the film could be successful, but in a way that's really not my problem. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that I could be successful in it, and that seemed to me to be a challenge worth taking, because it's really, it's a good thing, it's a useful thing, put it that way, to court failure, to court disaster. To build your cities on the edge of volcanoes occasionally, because what's the big deal? You know, if the film stinks, it stinks. You know, if you're lousy in it, you're lousy in it. I want to do things that really test me. So I had a track record with these folks. So when they sent this to me, and they didn't really ask me to do it, they told me I was doing it. You know, and you know, quite frankly,
they're vicious people.
They are. They're very rugged. What's those Michiganders? You know,
yeah.
They're tough. They're tough out there. Breed them tough out there. But also, of course, my wife has become very good friends with Rebecca, and so you know, in order to preserve my marriage, I had to say yes also. But reading it, I thought, this is a group. This film is really, really interesting. He's a terrific writer. I mean, and he's a singular writer. I don't know anybody who writes that. And it's so rare in movies to get great mouthfuls of dialogue. You know, really stuff that you can chew on and dive into. That's got some real depth to it, and that's not in any way dumbed down. And that can be, in some cases, it is impenetrable.
In watching the scenes you were shooting today, I was most moved by how little you were acting, and I know that that's something director Larry Brand likes to go for. Was it tough for you as an actor to get to that level of simplicity?
Yes, it is. You know, it's a bit like that wonderful thing that T.S. Eliot said in, I believe it's in Four Quartets, I think, where he basically defines poetry as a state of complete and utter simplicity costing not less than everything, and which is a wonderful statement. By nature, I think I'm kind of a ornate, kind of a Baroque actor. I like curlicues, I like mustaches on my head and everything. But as I've gotten more mature, hopefully I've begun to jettison some of that and trying to achieve that state of utter and complete simplicity, but it does cost not less than everything.
Are you a fan of the film noir genre?
Oh, I sure am. I love noir. A couple of films that were really influential in some of the acting that happened in noir, whether it be Mitchum or early Richard Widmark or Glenn Ford, Gloria Graham, a great favorite of mine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love the genre, and I've never been in a noir film. We don't make that many of them these days, and when we do, a lot of the times they seem a bit self-consciously noir to me. You know,
like parody?
Not so much parody as trying a little bit too hard. A little bit, I think, you know. Whereas the film that we're doing here, A Girl on a Train, it only dawns on you at some point during the reading of it. It did to me. Is wait a minute, this is noir, man. How cool is that, you know? And it's kind of philosophical noir also. Noir has never struck me as a particularly unrealistic genre. It may be that there is sort of elements of hyper-real to it, but I think of it more as people in very, very dire situations and just filled with danger, and who are kind of speculating on their own activities and on the activities of others. And the role that I play in this is in a sense, it's a classic noir role. He's the hard-boiled detective, but I just try and go at them in a straightforward and honest way. I mean, if that makes sense to you. I mean, I'm trying to play it pretty close to the bone.
I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see the guy from Lost acting with the guy from Terra Nova. What was
the late Terra Nova, I believe.
The late and deeply lamented Terra Nova.
Much appreciated.
Of course. What was it like for you working for the first time with Henry Cusick?
Oh, I like Henry a lot. I didn't know. I just met Henry the other day for the first time at dinner, and I immediately liked him. But I was predisposed to like him because I loved his character on Lost, and he played it with such great charm and aplomb. In a way, Ian is the kind of guy that I wouldn't say I envy it, because that's not what it is, but I admire it greatly. He's got wonderful looks and facility and just that sort of natural charm that, for some reason the good Lord decided to withhold from me.
I want to tell you, every time I do a military show as a stand-up, when I walk on stage, I look for the one stern, silver-haired officer in the room, and I turn at some point and say, "Dude, I hated you in Avatar," and the troops lose it. You have achieved iconic cinema status.
Thank you. I'm delighted to hear that. Good to be an icon.